Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Eternal Flames. My name is Blaze. So, if you've noticed, we got ourselves a very interesting little setup here, and I've been looking at some of the older tutorials, especially for, say, like TerraFirmaCraft. For those of you who have played Minecraft, but not TerraFirmaCraft, you have no idea the changes that are in store for you. Not only that, but TerraFirmaCraft has gone some pretty large changes as of recently, which will affect our new series and our new Let's Play. To better allow you guys to either A, follow along, or B, maybe jump in and survive and thrive on your own, here are a set of tutorials that I feel that you guys may enjoy to help you get along in the world. Keep in mind that these tutorials are for beginners or people who just haven't done that specific thing before. If you don't like this particular tutorial, feel free to skip ahead or maybe go back a couple steps. This particular message will be in front of all the tutorials, and we heavily encourage you guys to watch them if you want the help. If you feel you want to learn on your own, by all means go try to, or maybe you just don't want to listen to me. In that case, go take a look at the wiki, which we have down in the description below. Hope you guys all enjoy, and I guess we'll see you soon. Hello everybody and welcome back. It's a pleasure seeing you all again. Okay, so last we left off I showed you guys how to make a forge and happen to have one right here set up with 2 ingots. But in the meantime, while we wait for those to heat up and while I get my fire starters ready, we're going to go over a couple of different topics before we even get started. Now this is about anvils and smithing. Now this is a big thing because essentially what we need to do is I need to show you guys quite a few things in as short a period of time so that you guys can absorb as much information as possible and still be capable of doing what you need to do. In this case, we are literally talking about the fact that, and I kid you not, smithing is extremely complex. Now starting off, I need to show you guys how to fuse ingots. Now, we got 2 ingots here, and we're going to need to fuse these together. What we need to do is we need to make flux. Now, in order to make flux, we're going to need to actually get some flux rocks. I happen to have some right here, and I'll actually show you a full list here in just a bit. Put these under a hammer, and boom, flux. 2 per rock generally, and there's actually a special ore as well that gives it, but we'll go over that another time. Okay, so put our flux in the anvil. I've already got some right here that I've already crushed up, just for this particular purpose. Now, you can put your hammer right here. How do you make this anvil? Well, this particular anvil is just a piece of stone, and if I take my stuff off, it goes back to being a piece of raw stone. I'm going to go ahead and, while my stuff heats up, because it looks like it's going to be a little while still, I'm going to put some stuff up on the screen and let you guys see what stones can be used to make flux, and what stones can be used to be made into a stone anvil. Don't worry, take your time. Don't worry too much, I promise we're gonna get to stuff in just a moment. Take this in. You think you got it? Good. Okay. Looks like our stuff is almost there, but not quite. That's actually good news for us. Okay, to make a stone anvil, you need a piece of stone that resembles the ones that we just went over, aka an igneous stone, and right click with the hammer. Once you right click, you'll notice it goes down a pixel. Right click again and you can open the GUI. There we go. Shift click your stone hammer to get into its proper slot, and then we're just going to drop our flux right in over here. Now flux is what we use to weld, so don't worry about having too much, but at the same time, it's kind of nice to have a good amount. Okay, looks like we got just enough. Let's go ahead and toss these in, and to weld, stick them in the 2 parts over here and click weld. Boom. Okay, now you guys know how to weld. To kind of give you guys a better indication as to what you're going to be doing, let's go ahead and go over the different types of metal you'll be working with. Obviously you'll have single ingot, double ingot, copper sheet, double copper sheet. The ideas behind this are simple. 1 ingot plus 1 ingot will equal a double. A double can then be worked on to flatten out to a sheet, and then 2 sheets can be welded together again to make a double sheet. Okay, so we got over that, but can we work on the stone anvil anymore? Well, the answer is no. The stone anvil is only useful for one thing, making these double ingots. Once you have enough double ingots, in this case 7, you want to go and exit out of the anvil, go over here, and create an eye in your crafting station. Once you've done that, you'll notice I now have a copper anvil. This is awesome. However, if I go out of my inventory, you'll notice it says overburdened above my health and my other stats. This means that I can no longer walk, jump, or anything. I'm literally stuck. The way you fix this is by taking your anvil and sticking it right next to your chest slot, right over your character. This does 2 things. 1, I'm no longer overburdened, and 2, I now have this stylish anvil on my back. This will also work for one other thing in the game, which is actually barrels. This is a fairly new feature, so keep that in mind, and you can only have one thing on your back at a time, so you might want to be careful about what you carry around, and if you plan on moving, well, I hope you brought friends, or you don't worry too much about whether or not you leave stuff behind for a short period of time. Okay, let's go ahead and go back into here. We'll take the anvil off our back, and we'll put it down here. Sweet. Okay, now let's take our other hammer, the copper hammer, put it there, put some flux here, and can we work on the copper? Well, let's click the little plan thing again and find out. The answer is yes. Okay. What about other things? Double ingot? Well, we can turn into a sheet, a mace, or a sword. What about a plate? Well, yeah, we can work with that too. So as long as it's copper, we can work with it. However, there is a tier system, so you will not be able to work on bronze on a copper anvil. To give you guys an idea of what the tier system is, you basically match up your material to the tier of anvil you have. You can go 1 tier down for welding, but that's about it. I'll go ahead and put up another thing on the screen for you guys to see now. That way you guys have a better understanding. This will also be useful later when we start getting into anvil and so on forth. Don't worry, we still have time. This one should be pretty quick. Think you got it? Awesome. Okay. So now that we've got that, we gotta get into smithing, right? Which means we gotta heat up some stuff all over again. Now, essentially, heating and cooling are the biggest processes you're gonna have during smithing. Now, essentially, if we had a bucket or a barrel, we could go ahead and dunk our hot metal in that to cool it off, but for the time being, we don't want to cool it off. We actually want to be able to, well, what else? Smith with it. So we need to see this thing get hot enough to work with. Now, if you guys noticed earlier, my 2 ingots were orange and had a thing that said warning. You want to be careful to have molds in your forge, otherwise you will actually lose your ingot to the fire, which is no bueno for anyone. However, if your metal isn't hot enough, like you notice this is only very hot, but it has no indicator to say that it's ready, we can't work on it. Let me go ahead and toss a double ingot in real quick and show you. Even if I set a plan, like say for a sword, no matter what I do, I can't do anything. See? It doesn't move. Okay. Well, since our ingot's heating up, let me kind of explain what these buttons do. The 4 buttons over on the left hand side, the red buttons, are going to move your little green cursor over to the left. Kind of obvious, right? And you can kind of gauge by what they look like how heavy those blows are going to be. Same thing for the right hand side. Green is obviously going to go to the right, and obviously punch is the lowest and shrink is the largest. So following the same example over here, but over to the right. Essentially what we want to do is match the green up with the red to create our object. In this case, we're going to go for something simple. Let's see, are you ready yet? It is, but it's not quite as hot as I would like it. Essentially, if you're going to do some forging, you want to have it as hot as possible without melting it. Now that, in its own, is a trick. Keep in mind, there's going to be a lot of troubleshooting for that. So take your time, learn the process, and be patient. This is one that you can't rush, and if you try to, you're gonna make mistakes. Though, rather than take them hard, try to learn from them, if at all possible. You'll eventually find some pretty cool smithing techniques that work strictly for you, and, well, you'll find that they can be very useful. Okay, it's orange now. Let's go for it. We'll take our hot metal, we'll put it in this slot, and let's make, how about a scythe? Everybody loves a good scythe. Okay, so bend third from last, draw has to be second from last, and hit has to be last. So essentially, what we want to do is we want to go a little bit more, bend, draw, hit. Oh, we didn't quite make it. A little bit over. So we try it again. Draw, hit. Nope. Bend, draw, hit. And boom. You guys noticed that took a little bit more effort than you guys might have liked, but it happens. And keep in mind, some of these recipes are going to be even harder. The deeper and deeper in you get, the worse and worse it's going to get. However, the bonuses are outrageously awesome. In this case, like if we used a double sheet, we could actually make some armor. But you know what? I'll let you guys discover what you need to do for those on your own. Now that you know the basics, hopefully you'll be able to do a lot more for yourself and maybe do something better. Though I will do a tutorial strictly for armor smithing a little bit later, seeing as armor actually requires some extra steps that you may not understand right off the bat. It's been fun having you guys here, and I appreciate it. If you felt this tutorial was worthwhile and worth your time, please hit that like button and let us know that we're doing a good job. Maybe you didn't like the tutorial though. Maybe you thought it sucked. In that case, hit the dislike button. Let us know what we're doing wrong down in the comments. That way we can improve our tutorials for next time and maybe make something that's a little bit better for you. At the same time, maybe you have a suggestion for future tutorials. If that's the case, go ahead and leave a comment down below. We'd really appreciate it, and that way, if it's something we hadn't thought of, we can now do it so that we can better show you guys what to do in the near future, and whoever gave us the idea for that tutorial will actually get credit for it. After that, well, you're welcome to subscribe. We're more than happy to have your company all the time, and we do tutorials, let's plays, and you name it. We also have an art day every Friday if you're interested. But maybe you don't want to subscribe. If that's the case and you just want to see tutorials, we actually have a playlist down in my channel. So you don't have to subscribe, just head over to the channel, check out the playlist, and enjoy. You might find some facts that you didn't know before, or maybe you'll find something we missed and just let us know about it. Okay, that's going to be it for me. Take care, stay safe, stay well, and just remember, heat is important, 7 double ingots makes an anvil, and anvils have tiers, so try to match up tiers with material. Thank you kindly, and see you guys next time. Okay, I'm gonna go reap me some evildoers. Yay.